This presentation looks at the product life cycle. The product life cycle is commonly said to have four key phases: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. However, if we add part of the market life cycle, we can add a phase known as shakeout. Here, as the market growth attracted new entrants, those that are not strong enough to compete effectively get shaken out of the market. Typically during the mature phase there are fewer competitors, and competition is sometimes said to be between a few main players. There is often a second line shown on the diagram which represents cash or profits. This illustrates that with new products, the investment required to build market share means that profits are low due to low volumes, but also cash is being spent to market the product. When a new product is launched, it is invariably a fairly basic product. Think of mobile phones. When they were introduced to the market, they made phone calls, and that was pretty much it. The success of the product encouraged other competitors into the market. Once the market begins to reach maturity, what typically happens is that new features are added to differentiate the products. This happened with mobile phones, where features were developed to include cameras and other functions. These are often targeted at different segments of the market, so can be what is known as fragmentation or segmentation of the market, where different product variants are targeted at different segments. Often we see competition move away from price and towards the product. I'm sure you know people who have purchased a mobile phone because it is one of the best cameras, so it was the product rather than the price that motivated the purchase. Eventually something will take its place and the market will move into decline. When thinking about a single product line, each will have its own product life cycle. So for example, as Apple and Samsung develop new versions of a phone, they're actually making the old ones obsolete and replacing it with a new one. Therefore they recognise that each product has its own life cycle, and ideally a company will need to introduce new products before the old ones go into decline. As it increases and the need to develop new products speeds up, what we're actually doing is shortening the product life cycle. Within the product life cycle there are several decision areas where the accountant can provide significant input. For example, the pricing of new products, taking into account the impact of volume on average costs. Techniques such as target costing can be useful. Decisions about the manufacturing strategy have to be taken into account, again with due consideration being given to costs. For example, do you produce a lot of inventory so that you are ready to meet demand once the product is launched? This could be a costly decision if the product does not sell well. Or do you opt for flexible manufacturing to ensure that you can manufacture to demand? And here, a failure to meet demand may mean that you are giving market share to competitors. So the financial impact of these decisions need to be taken into account. Monitoring the growth of the product and the impact on capacity, further investment, the effects of volume on costs and competitor actions are all important areas to consider, as is the maturity stage, when the contribution per product needs to be maximised. Customer profitability analysis can be effective in understanding which segments to target during the growth and maturity phases. And of course at decline, what we're trying to do is to look to reduce the costs and extract value, and these are areas where accountants can have a significant impact. This video is part of a series of short videos that explain specific aspects of the strategic management framework and cover some of the strategy models that can be used in the analysis, formulation, implementation and review and control of strategy and the role of the management accountant. This presentation is provided as part of the support materials for the book Management Accounting in Support of Strategy by Graham S. Pitcher and published by Business Expert Press.